Hey traders, this is Blake Morrow with Trader Summit, and I have Mr. Richard Matthews with me today. We're going to be talking all sorts of central bank activity this week. How you doing, Richard?
I'm good. I've just actually realised that yet again I've got a sweater on. You've just got a polo shirt. Shows
I have
the
a polo
difference.
shirt, and I actually just cut my hair to go back in the Marine Corps. So yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
Uh,
I saw a little high and tight. Why not? To beat the heat. Anyway, well, yeah, you do have a polo shirt. I hear you guys are getting a little bit of cooler weather right now.
yeah, we're yes, we are cold. It's been raining all day today. So it's just summer in England. That's about it really. Might be sunny for an hour or so tomorrow, but not like you guys over there. Nice to see Phoenix, Arizona making the BBC news yes again for its high.
Yeah. You know what? I mean, that makes it so people don't want to come here, which is fine by me. It really is. Anyway, let's talk about what's happening this week because it will not be raining on the FOMC and investors this week as the FOMC is set to raise rates, but the market doesn't care. So the market's not there's no rain in the forecast for the stock market. We are at 2023 highs. What do you make of this move in the stock market, and how do you decipher the dollar right now, because the euro slipped down towards 110. You got the
Yeah.
cable well below 130. What do you do with the dollar here, and what do you think the Fed's going to do, more importantly?
Uh, Absolutely nailed on. They're going to do 25 basis points. I don't think there's any doubt
Yeah.
about that. I think that JPY is going to come out fighting again. He's going to, talk really, really tough. Going to certainly intimate there's another hike coming later on in the year, which I think there will be. I'm in the minority there. And do you know what? The market will just ignore him and they'll just carry on buying equities because the more hikes you get, the closer you are to cutting. And I think that's the sort of the mindset people are getting. And they're just ignoring what he's doing, which to me is madness. But hey, I'm not a stockbroker. I don't understand equities. Let them get on with it.
I'm sorry, there are no stock brokers. I was one myself back in 1995. They're only wealth managers now. So no more stockbrokers. They do not exist. We just buy index funds. That's all we do. Just kidding. Sorry if you're a wealth manager. My apologies. The market doesn't care, but do they care? Because I want to ask you this, Dick, is the market really cares more about what happens in the future versus, we all know that the Fed's going to raise rates, but is the Fed going to be able to maintain high rates going into next year? That's going to be the real question for the market, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, in fairness, and I was a stockbroker. I think I lasted for 3 weeks when I first started work. They said, no, you're not going to be a stockbroker. You're not posh enough or intelligent enough. I'm not sure which one it was. One of the few things I did learn that the stock market should reflect what's going to be happening in 2 years' time, which actual fact is even madder to me what they're doing. I think the Fed's going to keep rates high. I don't think they're going to cut. I don't see them cutting this time next year. We could be having the same conversation and the Fed rates will not have been cut. I don't see them cutting, certainly not until quarter three next year, if they
Okay,
cut.
if they cut. So,
Yeah.
but the market's not pricing that in right now. The market's not getting that message. So, is it important for the Fed Chair Powell to really drive home that message, or do you think he's going to do it? Not even going to bother?
Yeah, what more can he say? He's been saying the same thing, meeting after meeting after meeting, and the market just wants to ignore him. And that's fact. The more the more equity markets are bubbly, the more loose policy feels in the states, and I think that reflects back through into individuals' behaviours. So I just think he's got a real problem making the market believe, because as I said last week, I think there's inflationary pressures out there. I think you could well get this trampoline inflation. You could see it dip down, then bounce back up. Hey, we were talking agriculturals last week, and now one or two more people are starting to talk about them. I think that's a worry that we're going to start seeing, but equity markets are just ignoring it.
Well, okay, let's talk about maybe the more more, not the trickiest, but the more tricky central bank. Let's talk about the ECB. So everybody's expecting the ECB also to raise rates as well. But what do you think they're going to do? And is Christine Lagarde, is her tan going to be a deep bronze or maybe a light tan? Where do you stand on that specifically?
Well, we are into July now, and it is really hot in Europe, and the south of France is particularly hot. I had a friend moaning at me this afternoon about, oh my gosh, it's 38 degrees down here in Saint-Tropez. And no, I'm so upset for you. So I should imagine you'll see quite a deep tan. The Hermes scarf will come out, and she will do what all European politicians do brilliantly. She will stand up and talk and just fudge the issues. She'll just talk round in circles. I don't think they'll commit to a further hike, but they won't not commit to it, if that makes sense.
It does, but let me ask you this: the PMI data that came out this week, early on, I believe on Monday. I mean, it's, you look around and you're like, wow, that's some pretty weak data. How's that going to factor into what the ECB is going to do this week? I mean, they are expected, to raise rates by 0.25%, but are they going to set the stage for another 0.25% rate hike, later this year?
I don't think they will, actually. I think that the PMIs, and I'm not a great fan of diffusion indexes, because if you ask someone, there's just a guesstimate how people feel. It's going to be miserable. Everyone's on holiday, so I'm going to be downbeat on my PMI. So I'm not a great fan of those. The IFO survey in Germany was pretty disappointing today as well.
That was.
Inflation data is out Thursday, Friday, I think, in France and Germany. So I think they've got some problems, and I think that they will be cognizant of that, and they won't commit to a hike in September, but they won't commit to not hiking in September if that follows. They'll just fudge it. They're brilliant at fudging.
Okay, well, how's the market going to view that? I mean, because you have, obviously the euro is coming off of its recent highs, but expectations are still high for another rate hike. September, November, the latest, but there's price. They priced in another one. So is this going to be a dovish? Are we going to see a negative or lower reaction in the euro following the ECB?
Yeah, I think we will. And I was reading about, I'm not a great fan of CFTC figures on foreign exchange. I know for other commodities, for softs and agriculturals and gold and silver, they're really, really important. But they're quite a small amount in the foreign exchange market. Although I think net shorts are the biggest net short of dollars that anyone had ever seen recently. And I think that's why the market's rallied, is people have cut those shorts and suddenly thought, actually, out of the two of them, the Fed's going to be the more hawkish than the ECB. So, and you've seen the euro come lower over the last few days. I actually think that will continue to come lower. So I'd still be loading up on a few dollars.
Okay, so you're looking at the dollar to continue to strengthen. Now, here's where the tricky one comes in. On Friday morning in Asia, but Thursday late night for myself, early morning for you, maybe late night, middle of the night, we have the Bank of Japan. And the Bank of Japan is really setting the stage. A lot of the sources have been saying that the BOJ is not going to tweak yield curve control. We've seen the yen continue to weaken going into this week. It's kind of fluttering around the 140, 141 level. Is the BOJ going to move this week? What are your thoughts?
I actually was looking at it today, and I didn't realize that inflation was higher in Japan than it is in the States now. And that's going to be a first for God knows how many years. It's the first time I can remember for a long time that's happened. I think it's at 3.3%. I've got a funny feeling that they may do something, and I'm just a feeling. And I think I'm out of my own on that. I just think you've got a new central bank governor. He might want to flex his muscles. He might just tinker with yield curve control a little bit. And that will be setting the stage. I'd be a little bit nervous of being too short of the yen.
All right. Well, the dollar yen has been It's been, trading around this 140, 142 level. And it's the G10 central bank that really hasn't moved yet. And I think we're all highly anticipating some sort of tweakage. We'll see if it's going to come this week or not. And I know a lot of my friends that live in the UK, they are going to be up late on Thursday night, early Friday morning, waiting for the Bank of Japan as well. So one last question I got to leave with you. I know you're watching cricket.
Yeah.
I still don't understand the game, but and I know a lot of you are actually watching cricket. But is it going to be the Lionesses in the world for the women's World Cup, or is it going to be the U.S. women's national team? What do you think? Where's your money at?
Yeah, I've got to back the US team. How many times they've won it now? They won like 5 times, haven't they?
So it's 3, I think 3. Yeah.
Times, yeah. I don't know. My heart says that the Brits and the Lionesses, but my head says the Americans.
They look good. I have to admit, they look great, and there's a lot of teams that look great too. So it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful women's World Cup. I'm excited to watch it, and I'm sure you are too. And what is cricket anyway? Can somebody explain that to me? I'm sorry. I'm just kidding.
Oh, that's a time.
Hey, Richard, what's the best way for traders to follow your work and what you do?
Follow me on Twitter, which is at Dickie Matthews. Or you can pick me up on LinkedIn. I do quite a lot of writing on there. And just contact me if you've got any questions or you want to chat, or you can contact me through these videos.
Great. Well, we are really appreciative of you being here. Make sure you give Dick big thumbs up. Also, subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of this exclusive content that we get right here on the Trader Summit. Thank you so much for joining us today. I will be talking to you next week.
Go on the Lionesses.
Hey traders, Blake Morrow here. Thanks for stopping by our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Also click the bell notifications so you do not miss any of our market-related trading analysis from some of the leading industry experts. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you in the next video.